Welcome back. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment has reiterated its commitment to addressing the needs of persons with mental health problems. World Mental Health Day 2016 was celebrated on Monday, October 10th, under the theme Psychological First Aid. Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, in his address to mark the occasion, said that his ministry will leave no stones unturned.
We will leave no stone unturned in promoting their well-being and welfare. This is a sacred duty and a solemn undertaking. We salute everyone directly or indirectly involved in dealing with individuals who are facing mental health issues, including the members of our staff. I call Sister Diana Bailey, who leads the ship at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, by name. It is an important calling. I wish our staff, our patients, and everyone involved the most bountiful blessings of life.
He noted that we are on the verge of opening a substantially renovated mental health rehabilitation center or psychiatric hospital.
As we commemorate World Mental Health Day 2016, I'm happy to report as Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment that we are on the verge of opening a substantially renovated mental health rehabilitation center or psychiatric hospital. The renovations cost over $4 million EC dollars and were done as part and parcel of my ministry's modernization trust.
The minister said the renovations cost over $4 million and were done as part of his ministry's modernization trust. Minister Brown stressed that there is a difference between what we call a mental hospital or a psychiatric hospital.
It is important for us to note that there is a distinction between a mental home, as it is popularly called, and a mental or psychiatric hospital. This facility is meant to be the site of temporary treatment and care in a manner somewhat akin to the treatment provided at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, so that patients could be allowed to return to enjoy their home community environment in the shortest possible time. It is not a residence.
He also said efforts are being made to ensure that they have the entire healthcare personnel required to optimally address the needs of persons with mental health problems, and will enact updated legislation that protects the human rights and dignity of these vulnerable citizens.
So that patients could be allowed to return to enjoy their home community environment in the shortest possible time. It is not a residence. We are working hard to ensure that we have all the healthcare personnel required to optimally address the needs of persons with mental health problems, and we will enact updated legislation that protects the human rights and dignity of these vulnerable citizens. We must address with determined single-mindedness and overwhelming force any residual stigma and discrimination that is associated with mental health issues. This has no place in our society. We must extinguish even the smoldering flames that have the ability to burn undetected for some time.
Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, in his address to mark World Mental Health Day 2016, said that any mental disorders result from substance abuse.
We must extinguish even the smoldering flames that have the ability to burn undetected for some time before flaring up again as a raging fire. As we commemorate World Mental Health Day, let us keep in mind that many mental disorders result from substance abuse. As citizens, we have a responsibility to help ensure that the use of harmful substances is kept to a minimum, or I would even venture to say eliminated.
Minister Brown added that there are many people in our society who are suffering in silence from anxiety, depression and similar conditions, and that everyone affected by these conditions needs access to treatment they need. He added that there is no health without mental health.
There are many people in our society who are suffering in silence from anxiety, depression, and similar conditions. Very often they don't even know it. We should become familiar with the signs and symptoms of these ailments so that we could identify them and ensure that everyone affected by these conditions has access to the treatment they need. On World Mental Health Day 2016, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment reiterates and emphasizes its commitment to the delivery of the best possible mental health services at our soon-to-be reopened psychiatric hospital, in the communities and elsewhere. There is no health without mental health. Accordingly, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines accords the highest priority to addressing the needs of persons with mental health problems.
Active consideration is being given to placing a structural rock face netting to remedy an issue of constant slippage in Kittels and Camden Park area. The Searchlight newspaper last week reported resident engineer and consultant to the South Leeward Highway Rehabilitation Project, Whitfield Clark, said that Dipcon Engineering Services is considering options that would fix the ongoing land slippage problem that mostly occurs after heavy rainfall. Since the South Leeward Highway Rehabilitation Project began in August 2014, Dipcon Engineering Services have made attempts to widen the road to reduce congestion and allow for a smooth flow of traffic. More than 15 armed police officers from the Rapid Response Unit RRU and Special Services Unit SSU guarded and escorted a resident of Villa from the Serious Offences Court yesterday. As Martin Jason James emerged from the court and walked to the waiting police vehicle, police officers blocked the road outside the court to ensure his safe passage. According to a source, when James was brought to the court yesterday morning to answer charges related to marijuana cultivation, police officers observed a number of men behind a wall at the back of the courtyard. The Milton Cato Memorial Hospital was reported by a local radio station this morning to be locked down on Tuesday evening, with reports stating that an individual or individuals reportedly went to the hospital to finish off Mozart Lee, who was shot last Friday at his home by unknown gunmen. In the process, Lee's 10-month-old son was shot twice in the chest and later died. IKtv is uncertain if any arrests were made or if anyone was seen with weapons at the hospital, but the police were called in and persons were prevented from entering the MCMH. Caslon Al Bruce, uncle of the 10-month-old child who was shot and killed on Friday, says that the gunman did not care who was around when he fired multiple gunshots into a crowded yard, hitting the baby and his parents. At around 6:45 p.m. on Friday, October 7th at Glen, technician Mozart Lee, 37, was installing a speaker in a vehicle belonging to Monty Hillocks of Belmont when the gunman opened fire, striking Mozart in the upper chest, just below his neck. Martin James and Ricardo McPhee have been jointly charged with murder of 10-month-old Mozari Lee and the attempted murder of the baby's parents, Mozart Lee and Shellyan Durham, at Glen last Friday. Police released the information this morning at 10 a.m. On Saturday, the police preliminary report stated the group was at the elder Lee's shop when they were attacked by an unknown assailant or assailants. As the sound of bullets rang out, they took cover, but not before Mozart was shot in the upper chest and his girlfriend Durham in both arms. Their baby Ozari received gunshot wounds to both the left and right side of his chest. He succumbed to his injuries at 7:50 p.m. the same night at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. Humphrey escaped with a bruise to the palm of his left hand. Parliamentary representative for East St. George, Camille Gonsalves, is calling on persons with information regarding the shooting death of 10-month-old baby Ozari Lee to come forward. Minister Gonsalves said on his Facebook page that he's refusing to believe that nobody said anything about the shooting that took place in the early evening hours at a time when people are out and about. Gonsalves stressed that the child is dead, and while he understands that no one wants to be an informer, he is calling for anyone with information to come forward. He noted that those who shoot mothers and kill their children cannot be protected by any code of silence. A 74-year-old man of Georgetown was shot and killed in Stubbs just before noon Tuesday. Dead is Errol Sutton, who was shot multiple times about his upper body. Initial reports are that Sutton was on his way to the police station at Stubbs to hand in an injury report when he was accosted by two men. Residents of the area said that earlier Tuesday, someone chopped Sutton during a dispute over land, and they had made a report to the police. It was while he was on his way back to the police station with a completed form that he was attacked, residents claim. According to the police, this brings the homicide figure to 23. More local news when we come back.